To put it bluntly, Southern culture is designed to oppress. I know this firsthand. I was born and raised here. You see, in the South, there exists this idea that if you prohibit someone from making the wrong decision, then you're saving them from the consequences of that decision. For instance, there are no unwanted pregnancies if individuals just remain abstinent, and there are no addictions if all intoxicants are just made illegal, right? You place the right restrictions in place, and people will obey how you want them to. Yet, being born in this restrictive culture, being raised in such a way, it didn't prevent me from coming out as transgender in January of 2018. I'm a true Southerner. I often joke that my family sprouted out of the mud in Lincoln County, Mississippi, over 150 years ago. Growing up, I heard stories of my recent ancestors, like Mama Zula, a tiny matriarch who could command any room she was in, or Barefoot Benny, who had 26 children over the course of his life and blessed me with cousins galore. Southerners are my people. They passed on their way of life and the lens with which they view the world to me. I've done some truly Southern things in my time. My earliest memories involve riding on four-wheelers with my cousins or going fishing with my Mama Marlene. I spent the summers planting and gardening and the winters hunting and harvesting. I attended the same small county school from kindergarten all through my senior year of high school. Ironically, my senior year of high school, they elected me Mr. West Lincoln, if title means anything to you. That same school banned the use of the educational game, the Oregon Trail, shortly after we got it because one of the teachers realized we could gamble in the game. And when I graduated with 36 of my peers, I attended Bible college and got my bachelor's degree in biblical studies and became a minister. And I did everything correct. I checked off all the Southern traditions, met every expectation, and yet here I am today, a trans woman. Many people have reacted to me coming out terribly, refusing to view who I am as a person through any other lens than the one they already possess. For so many people, they equated it with things that they had experienced, but not things that I had experienced. For some, they thought maybe my spouse had somehow forced me to become a woman. But in their experience, they had experienced an abusive or controlling spouse. Some thought it must be some sort of drug problem or addiction, but addiction had waged a war in their life. Others assumed it must be some sort of sexual fantasy, but that was just based on their own personal fantasies. None of it was true. You see, I come from a strong family, the kind of strength that often leads to stubbornness, right? We are taught to just take the world on our shoulders and not to leave a single problem for the next person to take care of. That's all I knew for so long. And that's why it was Bethany who was the first person to notice that I was just kind of ignoring some things and soldiering on. I wasn't fully embracing my emotions and feelings. And so Bethany encouraged me once she noticed that I had to either be completely busy and consumed with work or with some project, or I would just kind of stop altogether and disassociate, just kind of go numb to what I was feeling. So Bethany encouraged me to pursue those. And it wasn't until I opened up those thoughts and feelings and emotions that any part of who I am as a human being clicked. Our lives totally came out, or totally changed when I came out as transgender. I was working as a youth minister. We were stable, able to pay our bills. We were talking about buying a house and even talking about having children. Fast forward to just a year ago when Bethany was working 3 jobs to keep us financially afloat, and I was struggling to find any job that made me feel respected as a human being. One of the most incredible experiences I had after coming out was opening up to my friend Renee from Bible college. Renee was one of the students at Bible college that I worked on projects with a lot together and studied with a lot. And Renee even has children that are close to my age, but still, Renee and I formed a friendship. And I knew at the very least Renee would listen to me. She would hear me out when I told her about my newfound revelations. And when I talked to Renee, she completely blew me away with her response. Not only did Renee offer this amazing love and support and just really lift me up, but Renee also let me know that her son was in reality her daughter, Lark. Lark had just come out as transgender right before I came out as transgender to Renee. We cried so much that phone call, tears of sadness and tears of joy. That experience showed me that there was someone else out there like me. See, Lark and I grew up in this restrictive culture where we felt the need to hide ourselves out of fear, where we felt the need to be someone based on roles and expectations that were handed to us. And all throughout the South, we find people who are like that. People who are hiding themselves out of fear. People who are queer, transgender, whatever their identity might be, who feel the need to hide themselves at home, at work, in their schools, in front of their friends, and most sadly, in front of their families. But one of the things that I also noticed was that this sort of commonality extended far beyond people who were transgender or even queer. One of the things that happened was several people started to come out to me. Several people with struggles and burdens, things that they were dealing with and didn't know how to handle, and they needed to open up to someone. I was shocked by the diversity of people who felt the need to hide something in their lives from their community, to hide something from their family, from their friends, from their loved ones. Individuals who were soldiers, who were dealing with past memories that still hurt. Individuals who were dealing with mental health issues, who didn't know how to talk about it, who felt a stigma about it. Individuals who wanted to speak some truth to their spouse or to their family, but just didn't know how to speak that truth. So many people, all feeling some burden to hide, simply because they feel like their community dictates it. Simply because they feel like they have to. I truly love Southern culture. I do. I was born and raised here. This place is incredible for so many reasons. I love the camaraderie. I love the spirit of community that you often see. I love the bonds, the togetherness, the family strength that you see in the South. I love the Southern food that I enjoy cooking and eating. But what I don't love about the South is how it often forces people into boxes, forces people into roles and expectations, and then demands that they live their lives inside of those expectations. Are we brave enough to be truly accepting of everyone in our communities? Are we brave enough to accept all of those around us? Let's honor our past by creating a better future. A future of true hospitality in the form of encouragement and acceptance. Imagine a world where all of our neighbors can thrive together instead of struggling alone.